Good day, everyone, as we shine our KRES Business Spotlight all this week on Socket and the services they provide, not only in the central Missouri area, but they are branching out. Visiting with me is Allie Schomaker. Allie is the marketing manager for Socket. And Allie, Socket's been around quite a few years now.
Yeah, we've been around since 1994, so we're about 22 years old. And we started out, doing dial-up internet and have progressed through the years and now have, really grown on the business side. And then we're building our fiber networks throughout the state. So really have evolved with the technology throughout the years.
And going from, slow dial-up that we thought was amazing back in the day, through the progression with DSL and now fiber, and you mentioned building fiber networks most recently, you guys are setting up a fiber hood in the city of Fayette right now, providing high-speed access to businesses and hopefully in the future residential customers as well.
Yes, absolutely. We're gauging interest in the Fayette market right now. We've had a lot of support on the business side. We've had a lot of people asking if that's something that we're going to be offering to home users as well. It seems that there's a need for that. There's a lack of high-speed options available in the area, and the speeds that people are getting, if they're lucky, are not going to carry everyone into the future with all the additional things people are doing online. So I think fiber is the next step, and we're excited to hopefully make it work there in Fayette.
Allie, for those of us who may not be familiar with Socket, let's tell them a little bit more about the company.
Yeah, well, we're a local telecommunications company. We're based out of Columbia, so unlike a lot of the other ISPs you might see, we're right here in their own backyard. Our people live here in mid-Missouri. They work here in mid-Missouri. We've got about 150 employees now, and we provide high-speed internet, local telephone, business networking services all throughout Missouri to home and business users. And so we're really trying to offer a unique experience from what people are used to on the telecom side. And we have our tech support based here locally. We really try to focus on making our packages and our pricing simple and easy to understand. We're not trying to throw in a bunch of extra fees and kind of trick you into getting something you didn't know you were getting. And just in general, try to treat people like we want to be treated.
And you pointed out one very important fact. When you're dealing with technology and tech services these days, it's really hard to find a company with local tech support. A lot of the companies, they outsource, and oftentimes, to be brutally honest, it's hard to understand who you're talking to on the phone. But when you call Socket Tech Support, they're right here in Columbia.
Right, absolutely. We've got a great group of techs. Very, very patient with our customers. They've always been willing to kind of take that extra step to make sure people understand what they're doing online, make sure they understand what options are available maybe that they didn't know they had online, and then occasionally just helping them understand the technology itself and how it works, and kind of easing people into the future when it comes to technology.
And folks who may not be familiar or who are familiar with DSL, that technology kind of piggybacks off of other carrier services. But in the expansion of your fiber networks, these are new runs, new construction, which is adding to infrastructure in the areas, in particular Fayette.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, the DSL runs over traditional copper phone lines. And those were only built to handle so much traffic, and we've pushed a lot of traffic over them than they were ever able to or intended to carry. And as people are doing more things online, consuming more bandwidth, streaming Netflix, connecting their 4K TVs, it's just not going to be able to keep up. And so fiber, we think, is the next evolution of technology, and it's going to carry us for decades into the future. But it does require us going out and actually running new lines, either burying them in the ground or stringing them on utility poles. And so there's a construction factor involved, but it's really going to be a long-term good investment for the homes and businesses that we're building too.
Speaking of, for the businesses, definite advantages for businesses, particularly with the fiber hood build in Fayette, definitely gives them a lot more access than they've ever had.
Yeah, and that was one of the reasons that we chose to expand to Fayette. We were hearing from a lot of businesses that were our customers in the area, hey, I need more bandwidth, and unfortunately the lines were only capable of carrying so much traffic, and so we kind of needed to take that next step to get them the access that they needed. And fiber is a more reliable service than the copper technology. It's not going to go on the fritz when it rains, or depending on the quality of the lines, that can potentially happen. And so it's definitely going to be a more reliable, future-proof service. And it's really going to become a necessity for any businesses that are doing, video conferencing, if you've got a lot of remote workers, if you've got cloud-based applications, a lot of backups or data transfers. It's really just one of these days going to be a must for most businesses.
And not only for the businesses out there who are needing more bandwidth in your coverage areas and areas that you may not cover now, but you will in the future, or for those residential customers, if maybe they can't get fiber, you do provide other services.
We do, yeah. We're still doing the DSL service in a lot of areas. And we are actively looking for more areas to expand our fiber network to. So even if an area doesn't have access to fiber right now, we want to hear from those people and know where they're at so that we can figure out a way to get to them. We want to reach as many communities as we can. So we've developed a website, socket.net/fiberhood, where people can go, anybody can go and kind of put their interest in, and then we take a look at that and see where the interest is coming from. And those areas that have a lot of interest, people have a lot of neighbors or a lot of people that have gotten together in a community to say, hey, we want this, those jump to the top of our list pretty quickly in terms of where we evaluate we're going next.
And some great pricing for your packages as well. Folks can find those online at socket.net/fiberhood. And speed starting at 100 meg per second. And that's great because the key word there is start, because most companies out there right now, the leaders are only bringing about 100 meg max.
Yeah, and with fiber, you're going to see a consistent, reliable speed. It's not going to fluctuate based on other people's usage. So that's a real advantage as well. In some areas, we can go up to a gigabit, which is 1,000 megabits per second. So we're talking substantially higher than what most people are accustomed to. It's really going to change the experience for a lot of people.
Awesome. Visiting with me has been Allie Schomaker as we continue to shine our KRES Business Spotlight all this week on Socket and their new fiber services available to businesses, not only in Fayette, but in their other coverage areas as well. And stay tuned all this week to Superstation KRES as we continue to let you know about Socket and their great services. Once again, for Marketing Manager Allie Schomaker and all of the great staff here at Socket, and all of us here at CentralMoInfo.com, I'm Dan Patterson.